Okay, so today we're with Adeolua Ishola, which he said I'm one of the only people to get that correct ever. So I say it all the time now. I say his full name, better known as Ade. Gabriel Gonzalez, Trevino, and Sharon Chu, who doesn't know how to spell her middle name. You said it.
It's with an A.
Okay, which you didn't know yesterday.
What's your middle name?
Siyan.
Huh?
Siyan. Yeah, it's Chinese.
Nice.
Gabe's like, you don't know how to spell Sun Yen?
Easy peasy.
Today's episode is going to be about trust. And that's a number one value here at 5+8. And by number one, I don't mean because we listed it as our number one value. We have values like any company, but I think like a year ago, I did a survey to the team and just basically asked them which of these words do you think best represents 5+8 and what matters to us. And so my point is that your values aren't things on a piece of paper. They're the things that the people on the team actually value and actually believe are representative of your team or your company or your organization. And resoundingly, I was happy to see that trust came back as the number one thing that people really felt like resonated with them here at this company. And one of the main reasons that trust is so important on so many levels is because I don't like to overly manage people. Not because I'm a great guy, but because I'm lazy and it takes a lot of work. I can't imagine how stressful and tedious and exhausting it would be to be a micromanager. So I think it's much easier and you can be much lazier by just saying, hey, I'm going to trust you guys. Trust people first, kind of like innocent until proven guilty. Like trust people first and make them prove otherwise. As I'm sure some people on this podcast have seen the other side of that when maybe things haven't gone right. And I've told them, hey man, you don't want me in your business because I will be a pain in your ass. And people would really rather their boss stay out of their stuff, so they can do their damn job. And so they appreciate trust and it allows them to do their job well. And definitely everybody on this panel and at this company does a great job of that. So I just want to say kudos.
No way.
Thank you.
Okay, so, but it's not just about our trust. It's really about trust in marketing, branding, advertising, and how there's so little trust for customers, the audience out there, people who are, whether you're on Instagram or you're watching Hulu or you're driving down the street, there's so little trust in what marketers say, put out there, claim, probably less trust than I can imagine in history in terms of like when you guys see something. I'm curious just from your perspective. I know I'm just throwing this at you. But first of all, have you ever been hurt or have you ever done, I think it's like, there's a term for like an Instagram purchase or like that impulse purchase, where you see something on, well, I think Instagram is probably the number one place.
Like like more than like buyer's remorse. It's like specifically to online.
Yeah.
shopping.
Or like specific to social media.
Yeah.
And then you get it and you just after ordering it, you realize, oh no, I was hoodwinked.
Was it Bamboozled?
Bamboozled?
Yes.
Yes.
I did purchase a supposed to be an authentic Black Panther T-shirt, and when I got it, it was basically just those like green suits that you wear. The guys that are like doing like they basically just like wear a green leotard, and it's like, yeah, it was just but black, and that was all it was on a white shirt instead of the actual Black Panther character. So I definitely
wait, what?
Okay, so the shirt is supposed to have Black Panther like on it, posing in some crazy action movie.
Yeah.
And when I got it, it was just literally a silhouette of a black silhouette of a person. No, so I got screwed up.
So it was just generic Black Panther silhouette?
No, not even the Black Panther silhouette.
Just
it was just a person silhouette. And yes.
Where do you have this shirt?
No, I threw it away.
Good, yeah, that's
got
trash.
rid of
That's,
it
you don't
immediately.
want to be reminded of that terrible purchase.
Because I was like, oh yeah, of course, I want to support. I love that movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to buy this shirt, and I did. Got it. Not what I expected.
Do you think it was? Do you remember what drew you to it, and why you were vulnerable at that moment to make that purchase through a clearly a vendor that wasn't reputable?
Yeah. So again, it was the pricing. I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. It was like $7 or $8.
There you go. That's the red flag. That's the red flag.
And so I was like, yeah, this should be good. And I trusted them.
Yeah.
And I was wrong to do that because I got hoodwinked.
Gouda, Chew, have you ever bought anything online like that?
I've only bought one shirt off of a social media ad, and I love it.
Okay, all right, there we
So
go.
I got
There's a-
really lucky.
There's a victory. No, I mean they're not all trash. I mean we run ads for all our clients, and I don't think they're trash.
It was I think I've worn it to the office. Now I don't wear it anymore because it's really faded. But it's like a mask, like vector mask artwork, where like the outline of it is the Wu-Tang,
Oh,
symbol.
that's a great shirt.
and it's the girls from Full House going like this.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's their girls from Full House doing the Wu-Tang sign.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a great shirt. I think you've worn it. You wore it to something really important. Like, do you remember?
That vaguely.
Like, it was like something that was like cataloged in 5+8 history, and you were wearing that shirt. No, I don't know. I don't remember what it was exactly. Chewbird?
I try not to click the shop button on Instagram.
Yes.
Ever since they changed that. It was like the like button, and then they changed it to shop. So it's like you want to look at your like button, but then you click shop.
What was that? What was it? Was that Sarah's Dirty Mouth one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is trust though, because people get used to a certain layout, and then Instagram went knowing that that's people's go-to.
Dude, that's bullshit.
and then they change it to the shop. They're like, "Ha, gotcha." And you're like, "What? Why? Why did you do this to me?"
Don't do that. I mean, that's what I'm saying is like, don't do that because a platform like, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I mean, a platform like Instagram that has everything going for it right now, right? I mean, just try to give me a platform that's as popular and effective. I mean, I know you're going to say TikTok, and maybe you're right. I don't know. You're the social media manager.
I mean, it's like 1A and 1B.
You think it's 1A and 1B?
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
TikTok and Instagram? Yeah, I mean, Instagram, people still like it. They hate Facebook, love Instagram. Don't realize it's the same company.
No, I know. But I'm saying you think TikTok's that close to Instagram now?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm 40, so I'll shut up, but I will, I'll challenge you on that. So we should talk more about stuff like this, like our expertise. People would like that. Okay. Let's keep going on this though. I like this. So Instagram, do you think that from a marketer's perspective or a business's perspective to reach potential customers, that TikTok is as effective a medium as Instagram?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, because they...
Hot take.
Well, for the same space that Instagram is in, which is B2C, yeah, you can't beat it. They're both great because they both make the most out of influencers. And so the thing about
What about ads? How are the ads on TikTok?
the ads on TikTok, so I think they're as effective as Instagram in that they're both good. Are going to perform as good as any ad possibly can. But what they have going for them is that, like I said, they'll take the influencers, they'll pay them, make a video, and then they'll use that same video that already exists naturally in their feed, and they'll just sponsor it. So sometimes I'll get tricked into watching these ads because they're from a creator that I like and I follow, and I don't realize I'm watching an ad.
Trust.
Trust. Yeah.
Does that piss you off?
No, because I like the creator, so I'm kind of like happy for them.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm like, hey,
I think that's a big shift. I think 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you used to hear the term sellout a lot. Like, oh, this person is a sellout because now they're doing ads. And I don't think the younger generation feels that way when they're the personalities that they like and follow, like make it big and get a deal with, Pepsi or whatever. Like I feel like they're not mad at them.
If you go into what I like to do when I get accidentally sucked into watching an ad on TikTok by a content creator that I like is I'll go through and read the comments, and people are usually pretty pumped for them. They're like, "Hey, get that money! Like, I respect it. It's cool. Like, I love your content, whatever."
Because they've probably been producing content for free for 5 years,
Right.
or 3 years, or however since the moment that platform,
Yeah, and I'll stick around and watch it. I mean, I know what they're doing. They're getting paid to promote this. It may or may not get me to buy whatever they're selling, but I'm happy for them, and it's smart.
Yeah, that's fine. To that point, you say, Gabe, who's in charge of our social media and knows a lot about it and does a great job, I'll say. You say that Instagram is 1A and TikTok is 1B, which I think is fascinating. And it's fascinating that you can't get any of our clients to get on TikTok.
Southern Star will let us do whatever we want, which is nice.
Yeah. But I mean, you can't. You try.
I've been hard.
I've been in these meetings. I've been on these calls. I've seen the emails where you recommend it and you've got concepts and ideas on how they can use TikTok, and they just kind of like ignore you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they think it's silly.
Yeah. They're like in there. I mean, I get it. In their mind, it's like,
No, I get it.
Gen Z Zoomers dancing. It's a little bit that too.
But so is Facebook, Instagram, and a bunch of other ones. Yeah. And again, trust. There you go. Trust again. So, getting clients to trust us. And I think that, like anything, they'll trust us to a point. They'll trust us up until, which I'm not sure this is trust. They'll trust us up until they no longer think that it makes sense. So, like you said, Southern Star, and I'm not calling anybody out because it's literally every client we do social media for is like they politely ignore us when we talk about TikTok. I can't. What I keep trying to push them towards is Nextdoor. With Nextdoor being this new platform where people are on there for any of our businesses that are like small and local. I mean, Nextdoor is absolutely killer. I'm gonna recommend it to RPRV, even though we don't do their social media. Like they got to be on Nextdoor, right? Like that's a no brainer. Okay, cool.
Have you been hoodwinked by a purchase?
Have I been hoodwinked by a purchase? I don't think I have bought anything from Instagram. I've been close. I'm trying to think. How you keep getting like, because once they think they've got you, like they've I've gotten close to maybe even into the cart phase for some no-show socks.
Did you get that? Did you get those ads from Fabletics Men?
No, that's just you, bud.
I did.
Oh, everybody here
did. David and I got the same one.
Yeah,
and it was like a crazy ass good deal on shorts, and I almost.
Me too. I almost got them for Chang.
But it's you have to be a member.
I read that.
Oh well, that's.
And I was like,
nobody's
no.
Who wants to subscribe to? Oh,
David.
Oh, they got him. They got Malamud.
Yeah.
Because for me, when it comes on my screen, it's basically usually like Kevin Hart, and he's the one who's like one of their main spokespersons. So I'm like,
oh no,
my boy,
wait, you get Kevin Hart?
Like I get his ads, and it's the 2 for 4, like what, 2 for 40 or something like that, or 2 for 20. I don't even know what the deal is, but yes, I also get the Fabletics Men.
I like that you get.
This is the marketer. This is the marketer. Okay, we have Kevin Hart. Okay, ages 21 to 32, African American. Oh no, you can't target by. Okay, likes. Let's see, likes rap music. How do I target black people on Instagram? How do I do this?
That's hilarious.
Because no lie, I swear, any Fabletics ad that comes on my, whether it's Instagram feed or even I'm just going through Google.
Yeah.
And yeah, those like little pop-up ones at the bottom of your browser. Yeah, it's just his face. And you're like, all right, okay.
Yeah, I get Luke Wilson. I get Luke and Owen Wilson. They just keep sending me just the same dudes. Did you have celebrities on yours? No. Okay. Sorry,
just
guys.
the pants.
Sorry. Yeah.
They knew me. It was a deal. I don't know how they figured me out.
Yeah,
It
you
was
do
a
like
deal.
a deal. You need to get. I wonder what Jeff thinks about David. David subscribing, getting the subscription to Fabletics. Yeah. I think that's exactly right. Jeff is not with us today, and we do miss his laugh.
No way.
Yeah. No, we do. We do miss it. No, that's Jeff's favorite song. Jeff does like that jam. Okay, so this is fascinating. This is going in so many really, really good directions, and I'm enjoying it. I had a question about the Fabletics, but I forgot it. I lost it.
Sure.
You just taking a picture, Sharon?
Do you think that also goes into the trust factor of like whenever companies particularly aim their ads at, you know, that whole specific demographic?
Yeah. All they're doing is, which is just effective and is proven effective forever, is people buy stuff when they see themselves in the ad. Okay. So like if you like Kevin Hart. Yeah. So you said that, right? So you like Kevin Hart, and he is also black. So like it's pretty general, but it's better than you getting an ad with for Fabletics that has oh wow, well done, Lana Del Rey. I was gonna say Kate Hudson, but Lana Del Rey's even better, because I'd be like, get this off my screen. Get this like hippie, like heroin addict off my screen. And I would be like, oh, Lana Del Rey. Yeah, I used to love her. You remember
She's good.
She's great. Do you remember that? Did you guys see the SNL that she did where that was kind of like, she was peaking and she was going to be this like big, not big, but she was going to be a star. And then she was on SNL and she just bombed and was like, looked like she was just lost and maybe on drugs, and just like, she totally bombed. Which is funny because I saw it, and this was in my height of being a Lana Del Rey fan, and I thought she killed it. And I was shocked when everyone was like, oh my gosh, it was so bad. And I was like, oh really? I thought it was really good. Which is another example of just like you believe what you want to believe. Okay. How far are we into the podcast right now?
Currently at 20 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay, cool. 2020.
I just wanted to wait for that.
I want to get to the fun part of this podcast now, because we probably keep the stories tight, guys. Okay, keep them tight. No long. Both of these fools on the side. Yeah, me too. I think Chew's the only one we don't have to worry about being long-winded. On the fact of trust, right? So we started to. This is what brought up this subject matter that we wanted to do, and talking about how when you have been tricked and how much it sucks because you were vulnerable and you were tricked, and the real evil marketing out there, or marketers or salespeople or whatever you want to call them, who are their job or their goal in life is to trick people into doing something, and so it feels pretty crappy. Who wants to go first? I'll go first. That way I'll be vulnerable first, because you guys don't know my story. Yeah, I know. So let's see. I'm going to work on my efficiency. All right, 10:31. All right, it's about to be 10:32. Okay, so driving down the street. This is probably 10 years ago now. Yeah, 10 years ago. I don't have kids or 5+8 or anything like that. Driving down the street on Westheimer, and this car pulls up next to me, and I'm driving my old black 4Runner, and he's got a black 4Runner too, and he's like, "Dude, nice car." While we're driving, and I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then he was like, "God, I can't even tell the story because it's so obviously like a scam now. Like when you retell a scam, like you sound so stupid. Yeah, I need to go first so you guys can feel stupid too. But at least I'll feel stupid first." So then he's like, it's two guys driving down Westheimer, and they're like, hey, we just came. God, hey man, we just came from a. They're like, "Do you like music?" or some dumb shit like that, and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "All right, yeah, man, we got this sound system in the back, and if we bring it back to our offices, our boss is gonna make us turn it back into inventory, and it's just gonna go to waste. Like we can't take it. So like, do you want it?" And I'm like, I Like I don't. First of all, I don't want a sound system. It's like a sound system. Like what is this? 1991. So anyway, but I'm like. And because what these guys do is they talk so fast and they make you uncomfortable and they keep making you say yes to things. Like they ask you questions like, you don't like free stuff? Yeah, I do. And so then they're like, pull over. And I'm like, cool, I'll pull over. And so I pull over and then they're like, they open up the back of their car and there's some sound system, like a Olaf something I never heard of, but they tell me it's really great. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, but that's good. And then I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. And they're like, I mean, can you give us anything for it? Like, I mean, like $50? And I was like, yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't have any cash on me. They're like, that's cool. We'll go to the ATM. And then I'm like, wait, this seems like I should not do this. Right. And so I start getting in my car. And then he gets in the car with me. And then I'm like, this is getting weird. Am I being robbed? Like, I'm not quite sure what's happening, but I'm not totally sure I'm being robbed. I also think I might still be getting a good deal on the sound system. So we go through the ATM, which is insane that I'm doing this. And then I'm like, he's like, all right, like, how much? Like, I mean, this is like a $2,000 sound system. Like, what can you give me? Anyway, he ends up getting He ends up getting me to get $400. I think it was like $600. It was a lot of money out of my account. Okay. And I'm pulling it out. And now I feel like I'm kind of being robbed, you know? Oh, also he was wearing a cross. God, anyway, he even at one point opens up my console of my car and is like, what else do you got? And I'm like, there's like an iPod there. And I'm like, this is fucking weird. But I still, like, to be honest, I still am not totally sold, like, that I'm being robbed. Like, I still think, like, no, this is not a bad deal. Like, I'm getting this sound system that I have I don't even want. And we pull out, and they drive away, and it's like 1 minute later, I'm like, oh, I just got hoodwinked.
What happened to the sound system?
So then I drove home and immediately Googled whatever the sound system was. Yes, Bang & Olufsen. The first thing that comes up is scam. Bang & Olufsen scam. That's like the first thing comes up. I'm like, oh. So basically, that is a real brand, but these were like these like knockoffs from like China or something, that they like made these knockoffs, and everyone was trying to sell them, and they were worth like under $100, maybe like $70. And then I find myself going on eBay, like thinking about posting it and being, hey, I got I'm like, no, then I'm literally the same person. And so I took it to the Salvation Army and donated it, the piece of crap, the sound system. And then the worst part was having to tell my fiance, now wife, girlfriend, I'm not sure what Piper was back then, that story. And her just pure amusement and bewilderment at my idiocy was, I mean, she still loves the story. It's still one of her favorites.
It's pretty good.
Thanks. I'm just like,
I can't picture this mentally. I have such a hard time imagining the story because I just can't imagine you letting somebody into your car. The whole thing sounds so implausible.
They were. The one thing I will say about these two guys is they were absolute professionals. Like, they were so good. Like, they had a game. Like, the way they were moving and the way they were like talking, it was like I was paralyzed. I felt paralyzed because I felt just like confused, and they were so fast, and I think I'm a pretty like quick thinker and a clever guy, and maybe at 40 this will never happen again, right? Like, it happens to you once and then never again. Sharon,
it will never happen. Never.
Do you want to?
I don't ever want to deal with that again.
Do you want to tell your story? You don't
Yes.
have to. Okay. This is a therapy session.
It is. It happened like the beginning of COVID when we started working from home.
Super vulnerable.
Super vulnerable. Did I hit the 1 year mark? I don't know yet.
You were pretty new.
Yeah, I was still pretty new. And then David emails me and was like, hey, I need your help on something. Send me your number. Like, I need to text you like for some help. And I thought it was like this big project that this client that we're trying to get.
And this was an email from David at 5plus8.com. I mean, that's how it appeared in your inbox, which is why it's very believable.
Yeah, the name, it was there. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm down to help. And then I give him my number, and then a number texts me, and they're like, hey, it's David Malamud. And I'm
Which
like,
I still don't know. I mean, I guess they got them from our website. They look at your website or LinkedIn or something.
like, how do they know David, like the project manager, and me, like the new person?
I don't know.
That's
They might have
so
they might have just
strategic.
gotten lucky, frankly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it happened to Adrian. That's why we all thought of it. It's happened to Adrian like this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't do it.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I told her, I was like, don't do it. Don't touch it. But yeah, so David's texting me. He's like, hey, I need help. Can you go to the store? Like, let me tell you, the masks have not been a rule yet. And so I was going into these stores like whenever it was almost the height of COVID. And I'm like, yeah, I
didn't
can
think
help.
about that.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, you want me to go to the store? And so I was like, yeah, we need this client. They're like big,
And we were courting a big client at that exact time.
Yes. And so he was like, oh, I need some eBay gift cards and like a pack of them. I was like, oh, wow, we're giving away gift cards as like nice presents to these clients that we're talking to.
Sure.
And then they're like, after I did it, they're like, okay, so like, what's the number on the back of them just so I can, before that, I was like, oh, can I just get these gift cards online,
Yeah,
like, because you could just buy them online. He was like, no, you have to go to the store. It'll take longer. And
Yeah, I mean, obviously in retrospect.
yeah, so I bought them at the store, gave him the numbers on the back of the eBay gift cards, every one of them. And I was driving back home, and he was like, wait, are you still at the store? Like, is there another one close to you? And I've already gotten like 5 of these. And I was like, okay, so maybe like on the board, there's like 10 or something. So I went to another store. I won't tell you how many times this happened, but I had a meeting with a client like at 2 p.m. So I was like, hey, I need to jump on this meeting. Is it okay if I do that? And they're like, yeah, sure. David was like, yeah, sure. And then I came back and I was like, oh yeah, wait, we had a team call. We had a team call at 9:30 while I was running this errand. And then David was on there too. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm running an errand for
Oh, that's
David.
right. You said you couldn't be on the call that morning because you were running errands for David, and then David jokingly said, "Yeah, I've got Sharon running errands for me," because he thought it was a joke.
because that would never
'Cause
happen.
David would never ask Sharon to go run errands for him.
In the height of COVID.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we were all on like lockdown.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was awful. We we all felt bad. That was awful. That sucked.
It was like the biggest, first scam of my life.
And then what put an end to it finally?
So whenever I got on to the meeting, thank goodness I had a meeting at 2 p.m. to stop this whole thing. But I messaged David. I was like, you've been texting me, right? He was like, nope. And I was like, what? And then I called him and I was like, you have been texting me, right? He was like, Scout's honor. Like, I have not. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I like started shaking, like everything. Yeah. I was like, I just got scammed.
Gabe?
So
So you can be an embarrassment sandwich.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
went, and now you went, and now Gabe.
yeah, so this was when I was like definitely too old to be falling for this, but I was 22, 23. And a little backstory. So basically I got scammed by a pyramid scheme with my friends. Correction, people that I knew from high school that I graduated with.
Yeah, exactly. Good,
Right.
good variation. Not friends.
Growing up, I have been to, for whatever reason, a lot of pitches for pyramid schemes.
I like that.
Organo Gold,
I don't know what that is.
Amway,
Okay.
Herbalife,
Uh-huh.
Vector.
Vector?
Oh, I know Vector.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom's friend, chef's something.
The knives?
No, the
Cutco?
not Cutco. It doesn't matter. It was like kitchen equipment.
Okay.
Anyways, so I know these. I've been to them. I know, and every single time I'm like, this is dumb. This is dumb. Who would fall for this? This is so obvious, right? So I felt like pretty well prepared for these until one day, this guy that I graduated high school with, he worked at a Chick-fil-A. And he just random was like, hey, man, I'm going to be leaving Chick-fil-A soon because, I'm working with this new cool company and, they're selling energy and, we're just always looking for people. It's like, so if you ever like, I don't know what you're doing now, but if you ever need work, like, let me know. So he pitched it as like a real job.
Yeah.
I was like, I know this guy, right?
Yeah.
I've been knowing this dude. And so one day I'm like, you know what? Yeah. What are you guys doing? He's like, yeah, cool, man. Just come on over whenever. And we'll talk about it. And it was him and like 3 or 4 other guys that I had all graduated with. And I was like, so how does this work? You guys are selling energy? He's like, yeah. So like, energy just got deregulated in Texas. And so like, whatever. And he's like, yeah, you want to come over to like, we're going to have like a meeting and you can sit in on a meeting and kind of learn how it all works and learn what it's all about. I'm like, okay, cool. And I get there and it's, it's like the very stereotypical pyramid scheme where you're all in the living room and you're all talking about it and they put on like a DVD and it's like, you can get financial independence, passive income. And I'm like, but because I knew all these guys and it's framed as selling energy, I was like, well, maybe it is not a pyramid scheme, it's selling energy. And so at the end of the meeting, they're like, okay, who are we going to get to sign up today? And I was like, I know all these guys. I'm like, dude, I want to sign up for this. It's like,
Did you lead the pack?
I led the pack. I was the first one.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
That's
it
awesome.
So on it, the premise was that you were basically signing up people to switch energy providers. That was
Yeah. I mean, that's actually a real job.
That was the product. That's what I thought it was.
You can be an energy broker. I mean, it's a real job.
Yeah. But, it was, you get people to recruit underneath you and so on and so forth. And so it was $600. And that was all the money that I had. Oh. I had like $650 or something.
Oh my god!
I had just enough, and I felt so like I was like just enough money for this. This is great.
You nailed it.
Yeah, and then so I signed up for this, and I didn't realize right away. It took me a second to realize I'd fallen for a pyramid scheme. So I told Ines about it, and she was not happy because we had been saving money to go to Argentina.
Oh, I didn't know this part either.
Yeah, this was in like September, and we had to leave we were going in December. So she's like, hey, idiot, we have to go. We have to go to Argentina. You need all that money.
Oh.
And I was like, no, I'm going to make it back. And she was like,
oh no, just hearing that out loud is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to double that.
yeah, exactly. I said out loud, I was like, no, I'm going to make it all back. And she's like, babe, I think
it's gone.
it's a pyramid scheme.
I think it's gone.
And so I did the same thing you did. I looked it up. I was like, ACN. And the first thing comes up, pyramid scheme. I'm like, God, dang it. So yeah. That's my story.
Ishola, do you have one? It's sad.
Nothing compared to you guys. Mine was more, I got scammed in middle school. So I don't know if that would count. It was like a boarding school, Nigeria.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. So,
Out with it.
the only reason why is I would say it's not as embarrassing. Again, I was a kid, but still.
So you weren't an adult?
Yeah, I was an adult, but
like these three adults?
but it's still pretty embarrassing because of just how when I think about it, even as a kid, I should still be smart enough to say this doesn't make any sense.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, so I went to boarding school while I was there, and while you're there, you know, of course, you're basically living on your own. So your parents, you know, you got your clothes, and then you got your provisions, like your food, little like snacks here or there,
Uh-huh.
all your stuff. And again, I was like the new kid, so I remember this one scene, like a senior, probably like 2-3 years older than me, decided to say, "Hey, why don't you?" Because we had our like little lockers that you put your stuff in, so you always get 2 lockers. You have one for like your clothes and your books, and then one for your food and everything else.
Okay.
So he's like, "Hey, why don't you, you know, put your food we basically will share a locker, right? So you have more space for whatever else you want with your second locker. And I'll, protect your food. I'll protect all the, whatever it is, your paper, pencils, whatever the crap, whatever else you had. And I'm like, at first in my mind, I'm like, I mean, I don't need it. I already have a second locker. But then it's like, no, you don't understand. Like, again, because sometimes people are able to get into your locker. They're going to steal it. Me, I'll protect it for you. I'll make sure it's all safe. I'm like, you know what, this dude seems like he's a cool dude. I mean, no one else.
He did seem cool.
Right, yeah. He was like, yeah, he seems like a cool dude. Why not? Sure, it makes sense. Like, at least.
How new are you at this point?
This is my first year there at the boarding school.
So what point in the year is this?
Oh, sorry. This was like, by this point, at least a month into the school year. So I had already been having my stuff by myself. It was fine. But, I guess he was like, yeah, obviously this kid's a easy mark. So, yeah, why not, like, go for it? And so, of course, at that moment, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I do need more space, right? Like, I can put some, I don't know, other stuff in my second locker. So, yeah, let's go for it. I give him all my food. Within like a week. And by the way, because you can lock these lockers with like whatever, like a padlock or like a little locking key. So he has the only key to the locker. So of course, when I want to access my snacks, I have to go, basically it's like.
To him?
Yeah, I have to go to him and like, hey, can you unlock this? I need to get something. So if he's not in the dorm and I'm hungry, I'm basically just going to sit there and starve. And eventually though, one day I'm like, hey, I need to get some, I want to make some cereal. So I need to get some like milk. Like little powdered milk or whatever, and then some cereal. All my milk is gone.
Oh, no.
All the cereal is gone. Basically, all that's left is like this little powdered chocolate drink. And so, yeah, I would sit there and just munch on some powdered chocolate powder. And this guy got away with.
He stole your food.
He stole my food. Well, basically, what he was doing was he was basically giving my food to other people.
Oh, he was probably selling it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And of course, his looked great. Stacked, and then mine's just all gone. So I got scammed. But
you got scammed.
Got scammed. But I mean, that was just like the one story I can remember. Where besides, I also had a pyramid scheme, but I didn't go as far as Gabe though. I stopped before I went to the person's house.
You're a quitter.
Exactly.
Gabe falls through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why, and I think so. The point of this is that when you have a product or a company or anything. Trust is hard to come by. And when I'm talking to new potential clients, I heard this line one time that if you're in sales, you're just selling trust. So when I'm on the phone with new potential clients, I'm not necessarily, there's plenty of good branding agencies. There's plenty of good content agencies, marketing, website design. I mean, it's sometimes it's too close to call when you know that you're talking to one of the best, which I think that we are. But when you're talking to us, you're probably talking to 3 others that are really great too. And so all they're trying to do is like understand, can I trust Adam to do what he says he's going to do and to accomplish what he says he's going to accomplish? And that's why it hurts so much and we don't make a lot of mistakes, frankly, but like when we do make a mistake or we don't get the results for a client that we want, I think that's why it hurts us so much, because we feel like we've let them down. We feel like we've broken the trust that they gave to us. And I mean, I know you guys are hard on yourselves when stuff like that doesn't work out. I'm hard on myself when we make a mistake's a mistake, but like when it just doesn't work out the way you really, really thought it would, and you were so excited about the potential, and it's not really necessarily broken trust, but it feels that way because you didn't deliver. And those are some of the tougher ones.
Listening to these stories got me thinking about, I'm going to use a really annoying buzz phrase headline that I saw in an article once.
Buzz it up.
And it was basically like talking about how we live in like post-truth.
Oh, I never heard
basically. That. Yeah, so it's like so hard, marketing or otherwise, to like for people to, there's like distrust is at an all-time high for anything that you read, anything that you see. It's like it's so hard to trust yourself to be like, is that image real? Is it photoshopped? Is this headline real? Is all this manufactured?
Like those deep fake videos where like literally like you could make someone say something that they never said.
Yeah.
And make it look as real as as anything. And I mean, you look at like these new Pixar movies that have come out, and you can't even tell if it's real or not real.
Like, yeah, when you like if somebody like if Piper or Chang or whoever like
Is it
tells
any
you like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
If they say like if they tell you something like some news, you're like, oh hey, did you hear this? Like Ness and I, one of the first things, if it's like kind of like hard to believe, we're like, where did you read that? Is that
Yeah. Oh yeah, 1,000%.
always like one of the first things that comes out of my mouth? And she's like, oh, I was just scrolling through Facebook news. I'm like,
No.
babe, do better. Come on.
Yeah.
Or she'll do that to me too. Like, there's no worse feeling than like realizing you fell for a fake
yeah.
headline.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it's and you react and you like share it with people like, oh my god, look at this, and they're like, dude, and you're like, oh, you're right. Okay, cool. Well, this concludes the podcast. Brought to you by Pyramid Schemes.
That's right. Don't get scammed.
Thank you, Sharon. Sharon Chu, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Guda Gonzalez,
Thank you.
Adeolua.
Thank you very much.
And Brenna, thank you for recording. Brenna's on social media content. Yeah, proud of this team, proud of the trust that we built with each other, and it's invaluable.
Good work.
Thanks, guys.